Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Markets are having a bit of a pullback today. Some of the altcoins are down a few percent. Solana down 7%, XRP down 7% today as it stands. But are we going to buy this dip? That is what we are going to speak about today. I'm still in all of my longs at the moment. I haven't closed anything yet. We're going to go over those as well. So let's just start off with Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin ultimately just chopping around here. As you can see, it's kind of just been stuck in this range over here between about 100 and let's call it 120K and about 116K. That could be the bottom side of the range. And ultimately, it is just chopping around here, guys. Nothing special is happening. Maybe just loading up for the next leg to the upside. I remain long and strong from my long from 102K. Haven't taken any profits yet. 135K is still the target over here. So we're about halfway there. Okay, 15% move, we're looking for that, about 30% move. So ultimately at the moment, halfway to our take profit over there for Bitcoin. And just looking like we're going to chop around in this range. Of course, you must expect a choppy environment, guys. High volatility, lots of volume. That's what we need for the next leg up, guys. We need volatility, we need volume, we need retail here. We need everyone flooding in so that we can get much higher prices. Let's go into Solana quickly. Solana had a really strong close yesterday at about $207. And ultimately, what I want to see for Solana is this 50% level held. So that's 195K over here. You can see that is the 50% level. We want to see the 50% level hold on multiple daily closes. So we closed yesterday above there. Today we have pulled back below that level over there. And what's interesting to note is that there's this level over here, this top of the wick, which looks like we just tagged right now. I've been eyeing out this level for a while, well, not a while, throughout yesterday and the day before, saying we could get a pullback down to this 187. And it looks like we tagged this to perfection. So you can see here is that top of the wick. Here is the bottom of that wick, testing it as support. So what we want to see today for Solana is a daily close above 195. Let's call it 196K. That's what we want to see. Multiple daily candles chop around there. However, we are at an obvious resistance, guys. We've had this red box outlined for a while now. Of course, this is resistance. And what we expected was a chop in the zone over here. So very obvious. We hit resistance. Now what we want to see is a consolidation above the 50% level. If we get that, then the next leg up is most likely going to happen. Excuse me, something like that. If we close below here and start to consolidate below there, then we can look for the next leg down. But only once that happens will we react to that situation. But for now, it is long and strong, and looking for Solana to reclaim that $195 region. ETH trading at that $3,600 region right now. Definitely, we cannot be surprised by this at all. And what we can do now is we can pull out the Fibonacci from this big move up. There we go. 50% level, it's coming in at 2,985. I'm going to put the 382 on and quickly reverse this. And that gives us a level of that 3,200. So we could easily come down to this 3,200 over there. And we're still definitely in a very strong move. We could easily come down like that for the next leg up. So guys, volatility alert. Let's see what happens. Of course, we're still long from 2,500. Took some chips off the table at 3,300. This was an extremely obvious resistance. Looking left, looking back in time, we have reclaimed that. Now what we're looking for is a potential retest of this 3,300. So let's see what happens, guys. Of course, none of us have FOMO'd into this. That would be absolutely silly. We are in from here. So maybe if we do come down to this 3,200, 3,300 level, we'll be adding to our position for the next leg up. XRP over here, reclaiming or, coming underneath the zone over here at $3.36. We would like to see a close above this level. If we see a close below this level, then this could be a bit of a distributive situation here. And then we could see lower levels. And those lower levels could come from the 50% level of this move up, coming all the way down to $2.80. I did take half my chips off the table on this trade coming into all-time highs. That was a sensible move in my opinion. But this $3 region to $3.80, the zone over here, great region for Solana for a add into our trade. Get back, it matches up with this ascending resistance as well. So XRP still looking good for now, but we'll have to see how the day plays out. Bitcoin dominance getting a bounce off this 50% level, guys. We spoke about this. We said we have got this big 50% level here, and when we come into this 60-61% zone over here, we're most likely going to see a bounce. We're not sure where that bounce is going to go, but we could easily come into this 200-day EMA over here coming in at 62.65%. So a bounce like this, then a rejection, and then continuation to the downside over there. So this is what we're looking for Bitcoin dominance. So of course, we've had such a stellar move to the downside on Bitcoin dominance that we have to get some kind of correction. And Bitcoin can trade sideways, as we spoke about. Bitcoin going sideways, altcoins getting a correction, and yeah, we'll have to see how this all plays out. But we could easily see a move. We're seeing the move now into this region over here. I'm gonna make this box a little bit tighter for you guys. Something like that. We could easily see a move into the 62% zone or 62.65 zone, 200-day EMA for the next top and potential leg down. So definitely watch out for this for Bitcoin dominance. If we do come into the zone here, this will be the perfect timing for your altcoin longs. USDT dominance, of course, getting a little push to the upside. Little red day for crypto here, but still bearish, guys. We could easily see a move up to this 4.36%, and this will be our perfect positioning for getting into our long. Same thing here, guys. We can easily see a little push up here. And guys, this isn't too much. Of course, 4 or 5%. That could be Bitcoin coming down about 4 or 5%, but it'll be a great opportunity for altcoins. Total crypto market still bullish, guys. If we just hold the zone over here, if this is our next low, basically testing the previous all-time high as support, then we could easily see this could be the move or the pullback before we start our next leg up to that 5K zone. We came very close to, 5 trillion zone. We came very close to 4 trillion, just short, but we could easily see a pull back down to that 3.6 to 3.7 trillion dollar region for the next leg up. Good to see total 3 after such a big, big-ish correction today, 5%, still above $1 trillion. Ultimately bullish. We do want to see this consolidate above $1 trillion. That would be bullish. Okay, so we're seeing a couple of things here. We talk about Sui and Ondo. If there are any more altcoins, definitely drop them. We'll have a look at those today. Today won't be a very long one, but nice to see some meme coins getting a decent pullback, 10% over there. So Ondo, let's have a look at Ondo quickly. Let's neaten this up. So this was the trade given a while ago, so we're up on that. If you didn't get into this trade, today could be a good day for this trade, but let me just neaten this up quickly. This zone over here was the obvious resistance zone that we were speaking about. It looks like we did kind of get rejected off the top of that box over there. However, we did take out this high over here, which does put us in that bullish scenario here, of course, making a higher high. So the ultimate buy zone for Ondo, if you guys are not in this trade, would be a pullback into this box over here. And it looks like, if we do consolidate above $1, this golden cross is inevitable. So the golden cross, obviously, something like that. The red coming underneath there. And that golden cross will give investors a lot of confidence that this is a real move. So we could see that move down into $96, 96 cents. 96 cents will be a great zone to get into Ondo. So definitely, I'm going to have an alert here, 97, add to that position. I think that is a great opportunity for Ondo, 97 cents. It all lines up quite nicely. A little retest of this major ascending support over here, coming in at 98, 97 cents for Ondo. And of course, if you do want to take this trade, it will look something like this. Long from here, If you are very conservative, you can put your stop over here using very little leverage, obviously targeting at least all-time highs, giving us that favorable risk to reward of 3-to-1. Guys, remember, we wanted to be taking trades of a risk reward of at least 3-to-1. We can take some chips off the table coming into the macro 50% here at $1.38. And yeah, we could easily see a rejection from here. See a nice push up. Let me get this up here. Nice push up, test this as support, and then move onwards and upwards like that. So if you are very conservative, you can wait for that trade. If you are aggressive and you are looking for a long, you could be longing this, dollar region to 97 cents. Just put your stop loss below these EMAs. We don't really want to lose these EMAs. So your stop loss could go at that 84 cent zone over there. And obviously targeting, definitely all-time highs with the swing. But we'll be taking some chips off the table there. This is giving us a risk reward of 7.85-to-1. So this is a favorable trade, guys. We could be taking this trade easily. So let's see. And of course, this makes sense. This low, this was, we broke out, got rejected off the 200-day EMA. And this is where the buyers stepped in to blast price above this $13. So this would be an obvious zone for a stop loss. So this is your Ondo TA, guys, looking for something like this to play out. Just watch out for this 98, 97 cent zone for a strong bounce on Ondo. What else is looking good? Altcoin is starting to show some strength. This thing just really needs to get above the 200-day EMA. Over here, if you are in this trade, obviously still well up here. But this isn't the best sign. This is why you can always just be patient. If your token is underneath the 200-day EMA, there's still lots of time, guys. Definitely pays off to be a bit more patient in that side. See Ondo above the important EMAs. So that is a bit more bullish than something like Altcoin. Let's speak about Casper as well. Wait for these EMAs to load. There we go. So Casper is something that, I have accumulated over, this bull run, I suppose. Probably got an average position of about where price is currently. I do think this is a bullish token. And what you can see, that looks like we are wanting to break out here. So we can see here's the top, here's another top, and looks like we are breaking out and retesting this. So if you want to take a long on Casper, you could take a long from the zone over here. Of course, this retest looks pretty perfect. If we come down to the 200-day EMA, we could get another bid from there, giving us an average entry of about 10 cents, stop below the important EMAs, obviously targeting all-time high, something like that. 5.6-to-1 risk reward over here on Casper. This is looking decent in my opinion. And then, there are much higher targets. I do have 26 and 30 odd cents there for Casper, so about a 3x from current price. So definitely watch out for this, guys. This looks like a good opportunity right over there. We'll have a look at Sui as well. Sui getting a decent pullback, and we've been waiting for this zone over here, $3.55. This will be the ultimate buy entry, going to make this a bit neater. This is, of course, the 50% level, the macro 50% level. So what you can see is we had the high over there, the low over there. That halfway point is that $3.55 over there. And if price can chop around here, we can wait for this EMA to come up, something like that. Price chops around here, get that strong bounce off there. Everything lines up for some confluence. And then we're going to be seeing that $7 and $11 Sui. This is the trade, guys. Big trade over here. I'm patiently waiting for the entry. If you don't want to miss out on this trade, I suppose you could enter in a 10th of the position size or a 20th, just kind of get your foot in the door, because this could just take off at any moment. Who knows? But the 3.55 is the ultimate buy zone, guys. But of course, buying this low over here at 3.67, 3% doesn't matter, right? In my opinion, you're not going to leverage this through the roof. So even buying now with your stop loss at that 2.78 does give us a favorable risk to reward of 3.86-to-1 if we do come into that $7.53 zone for Sui. Okay, there's some entries on ETH and Sui I want to speak about potentially. Personally, not yet. I do think they have run quite hard. I think we could come down a bit higher. I do see a potential rotation into the smaller cap tokens. I want to speak about Link quickly, guys. Link's looking really good. And Chainlink did just retest this high over here. So watch out for Chainlink, guys. Of course, watch out for the 50% level as well. Spoke about this. What we could see here is a chop around here. But what I really like is that Chainlink has totally reclaimed that May top over there. This is what you want to see, guys. If your token hasn't gotten above this May top, then it's not looking too great. What you can see here, Sui hasn't got above it, but it has got very close, basically a double top. So I wouldn't be too worried about this. But there are tokens out there which are well below that zone, something like Sonic. Okay, this was the May top. This is looking like the potential. I'm not saying it's a top, but this high is way lower than this. So I would be very cautious. I would be very cautious with this. This is not what you want to see in a strong altcoin. You want to see a higher high, or at least an even high, guys. Yeah, so let's go back to Solana. Bit of hype here. Yeah, this was the ultimate buy, guys. This top over here. Will we see it again? We might see it again, guys. We'll have to have a look at Bitcoin. I do see Bitcoin potentially coming down to this daily open and just coming down to the zone over here at 170. Looks like we actually even got there already. Looks like we've already tested that. Let's see, guys. Let's see if we start to get a lot of volume and the crypto market does start to shoot up again, then it will be looking quite good. And if we go over to the TradFi, S&P 500, you're opening pretty bullish. NASDAQ, not bearish, of course, guys. There's nothing bearish about all-time highs. So let's see. If these can catch a bid, then I do see this moving onwards and upwards. Let's get back into the crypto, guys. Let's get back into the crypto. Let's see. Let's see. Personally, not the best entry here. It's like, okay, we can get in at $187, but where's your invalidation, guys? That's what you got to ask yourself. We can get in here, but if we're putting our stop below these EMAs over there, and we're gonna take profit at all-time highs, that's a 3-to-1 risk to reward. There are more favorable trades for sure. There are definitely more favorable trades. So something like this, we got in early before the market ripped off. Haven't taken profits yet. Probably should have taken profits at 207. I think we wouldn't have actually hit a target yet. But this was a zone where we said this is TP1 from the trade. Haven't hit. We basically hit it now. So if you took profits here, congratulations. That's a great place to take profits. But yeah, we're looking for the big trades. We're looking for the big boys, big moves to the upside. Okay. So nice. We said thrice. Okay, DXY, ENA, and optimism. Okay, so ENA had a massive move yesterday, obviously down 11% now. If you got into this trade, nice. So this has reclaimed the 200-day EMA. And when we reclaim the 200-day EMA, we could easily come and retest it. So there's another valid long here. Of course, if we test this as support, stops would go below this low here, below the 50-day EMA. So this will be a point of validation. If we do lose the zone, it will be looking not too good. But what you can see is we've had this kind of support zone between 20 and 30 cents. This looks like big accumulation, in my opinion. Nice bit of volatility up here. What you can see is there are some previous highs in the zone over here. So this could be the ultimate retest. ENA looks very much longable at current price. This is probably one of the better trades. You could take this on 2-3x leverage over there. It's a 30% drawdown. Obviously targeting, first of all, 68 cents. Second of all, the big fair value gap at $1.10. We've been speaking about this fair value gap for this huge accumulation zone over here, but this looks like a genuine breakout. So, and it's above that May high. So this is looking pretty good. Optimism, not looking good. Personally, not bullish on optimism. It is below this May high over here, which is, not the best sign. If you're looking for a, Ethereum beta play, instead of something like optimism, let's have a look at something like Lido, guys. Lido's looking really good. Nice volatility over there. Of course, above that May high. Looks like we've reclaimed the 200-day EMA. So if you guys are looking for longs, Lido is definitely a good option, guys. Lido is looking like a great option. We said Sui looks like a great option. We said Chainlink looks like a good option. We said ENA looks like a good option. So heaps of longs, guys, heaps of longs already given. These are the strong ones. People are speaking about a monthly ENA cup and handle. We'll have a look at that as well. ENA, massive cup and handle. Yeah, not sure about the cup and handle. If we do get that move to $1.22, and then we chop around here, then people will start chatting about that cup and handle. And if something like this does play out, and you getting in your entry here, people are talking about the breakout over here, targeting $2.33. Then it will be looking pretty good. So basically, I think ENA is a great trade. I've got a pretty big spot position on ENA, accumulated that in the zone over here. Not sure what the price is. We should be in profit. But this looks like a good trade, guys. 5-to-1 risk to reward. And then, of course, we were looking like a potential cup and handle. But this is what can happen, guys. Of course, the bull market is, or the altcoin potential bull market is on its way. And things like this will catch up. This can easily get there. I mean, this can pump 100% just like that. So you could easily see another 100% in the next few weeks as well. But definitely a trade that I would be looking at taking. My bad. Let's get rid of this one. We do like that it is above the 200-day EMA. Very obvious stop zone. You can take this 2-3x leverage, and that will be looking pretty good. Okay, so optimism we spoke about, ENA we spoke about. Let's have a look at DXDY, or DYDX, DYDX. Boom. Okay. Okay, so kind of similar. I would personally be waiting for a breakout of this 78 cents. Lines up with the EMA there as well. We do have this kind of tracking support over there. We could come down to 59 cents, but personally, I'd be waiting for a breakout of this, some consolidation above here for a few days, and then we can be targeting those high levels. Massive, massive, massive fair value gap over here. Just want to point that out. It's kind of been filled, but this is the zone that, if it comes into $1, you could be taking a trade into that dollar region, but I'd be waiting for the reclaim of the 200-day EMA before getting excited on DYDX. Okay, have a look at Wormhole. It's a W. Let's pull this one up. Okay, 8 cents. Yeah, this thing got smashed. Haven't looked at this thing in a while. Yeah, I'd also be waiting for just the reclaim of the 200-day EMA. It's also below this May high. So look, guys, let's focus on things that are above the May high, because that makes more sense, guys. It means that the people that are selling in the zone here are no longer selling. That means there's less selling pressure, and this thing's more likely to go upwards, guys. So definitely have a look. If it is above the May high, it's looking much better, much, much, much better. Okay. What else? What else? Otherwise, guys, sit back and relax. You've got the entries. Things are looking good. Things are bullish. I think we'll have good opportunities. Decent pullback today. These kind of pullbacks are basically for like adding to your positions. Okay, so if you entered the Solana trade over here and you want a little bit more exposure, then we can add a little bit more. Add about 10% more, 20% more, get our average entry to about there, or we can still have our stop at kind of break even. Bigger position, looking for a bigger breakout. This is what this kind of trade is for, guys. It's not for going all in on a new position. Definitely not. Let's wait for the market to cool off for that. But for now, things are looking good. Let's see how Bitcoin reacts today. And guys, I spoke about it. There's not many news events for the next week, so we can expect a trending move to the upside. But Bitcoin grinding sideways is bullish, and ultimately still looking at that 135K target, guys. Thanks so much for watching the stream, and we'll see you guys